Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I have a brand new co-host with us. Unfortunately, um, Merle is very busy, so she's got a lot of stand-up comic routines and different places that she needs to be all over the country. But I do want to give a warm welcome to Wander P, our new co-host for Thirsty Topics. Hi, Wander.
Hey, Lawrence, how are you, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm great. I can't complain. Well, you know what? I can't complain, but you know it's not going to do a bit of good.
That is true. That is true. Well,
Yes.
welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is our first trial run here. So let's see what's happening on Thirsty Conversations.
Actually, it's thirsty topics, but that's
Thirsty
okay.
topics. Okay.
That's our
Thir-
that's
Thirsty.
our sister station, our sister
Okay.
program. No,
Okay.
so Wanda, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Wander Powell, and they call me Wander P. I am the host of a podcast called Restore Our Communities. I've worked with people from Nashville for, more than 20 years with my television show. And what I did, I interviewed individuals and organizations that were making a difference in the city of Nashville. And now I'm back here in Illinois, and I'm trying to do the same thing here with my show, ROC, Restore Our Communities. It's to bring awareness. And we're at a time in our life right now, we definitely need that, and we'll never run out of topics to talk about.
That is so true. Well, thank you for coming on board.
Mhm.
So tell me what made you decide to join us?
Oh my God. Well, of course, you're such a nice guy. You're such a
Oh,
cool guy,
thank you.
and you know what you're doing. And one of the things I'm excited about things, brother, and I just love being around people of like minds. And we are we're doing similar things. We're concerned about the community. We're concerned about people. You're a family man. I love family. I love education, and I love diversity. There's so many things that we have in common, and I'm just looking forward to for us to be able to share what we're believing, um, what we're about, and we want to be able to bring that to the community, man. Because there's so many negativities that's going on right now, and we just really need to stay focused and just have some fun while we talk about these current events that's going on in the world today.
It's so true. That is so true. Well, again, welcome aboard. We're going to
Thank
have a
you.
lot of fun. We're going to talk about a lot of great topics. And once we get the live stream figured out, we're going to have a lot of people watching this live too. So
Okay,
don't worry,
yes,
we're going
yes,
to
yes,
figure that
yes.
out.
I'm excited. I'm excited. So what's on your mind today?
Well, we're going to start off with a very interesting topic here.
Okay.
And it's probably a hot button for a lot of different people.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the largest cost of living jump in 3 years.
Okay.
So according to CBS News, the price index or PPI surged last month, far outpacing economists' forecasts and suggest that President Trump's tariffs are starting to significantly drive up costs of imported goods. Wholesale inflation rose by 0.9% in July um, from the prior month. The Labor Department said Thursday, about a Thursday or two, that let's see, I don't know why I said Thursday, but basically they were, talking about how the war, with everything going on, is affecting a lot of different things. It's affecting the gas, affects diesel, and a lot of people don't understand that gas and diesel prices, especially diesel, affects everything else because your food, materials, all these things are being brought on the truck. So when their expenses go up, everyone else's expenses goes up.
Hmm.
So what is your take on this, Wander? How do you feel about all the rising costs? And I know for me, it's very strange paying almost $5 a gallon for gas these days, but
Do you want the politically correct answer, or you want the deep answer?
You know what? It's up to you.
Well, it's really sad because I am a news junkie, and it's really sad where the state of affairs are today. And for us to be in a situation in 2026, it's really sad. And I totally don't agree with it. I look at the gas prices. I look at like the tariffs, start with the tariffs, and it's really a shame that we are finding ourselves in that. We've worked hard. You find people who are taxpayers, they're paying their dues to society, and then you have to come now. We have to say, do I want to eat? Do I want to pay for my medications? Or do I want to buy things for my children? So now we are forced at this stage in life that we have to make choices. That's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous how we have to be in a situation like this. And where are we going? We know a year ago we were not in this place, and here we are a year and maybe a little bit over a year and a half, and now we're in a situation that we have to scramble and make a decision if we're going to eat or pay for our medication. And that's sad for a lot of people. People have to
That's
work 2 and 3 jobs. I just know of another one of my friends just took on another job because they have to pay child support and things of that nature. So it's crazy. It's really crazy where we are.
It is. It is. And the one thing that I know we don't talk about enough is um, it highlights other issues that goes on.
Hmm.
Um, right now, there's people that are struggling to find a job.
Yeah.
There are people working a job that are afraid to try and find another job because of what's going on in the economy. And excuse me, you still have to live. So
Yeah.
one of the things that kind of surprised me a little bit is a lot of people aren't going to curb their travel plans for the Memorial Day weekend holiday, and a lot of people feel that okay, I work really hard all week. I saved up for this. Me and the family, we want to enjoy ourselves. So they're still going to take their week, their trips, their driving, um, road trips, and possibly still flying because again the world just doesn't stop because of it.
Right.
But I agree with you. It's definitely a burden and a strain on people's households. And one thing I do want to point out is it doesn't matter what your politics are, whether you're
Right.
Republican, whether you're Democrat, Independent, or whatever. This affects all of us.
Absolutely.
And the one thing that's kind of sad is that to me, there's just not enough being done to address this. I'm not going to go too deep into that side of the picture, but I
Mm-hmm.
think there's a lot that could be done to help it a little bit.
Here's the thing, Lawrence. People think because we're in 2026 that the past can't come back to haunt us again.
True.
And so I think that's part of it, the disbelief. People still going on their trip. I don't care. I'm going on my trip. You saw the gridlock with the airports a few weeks
Yes.
back,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
People, I'm still going to go. Now you got the Ebola or the different diseases that are
Yes.
out now, but people still want to go because of their thinking. They are looking. We're in 2026. I don't. They don't watch the news,
Hmm.
and
Well,
Prince said
there's a
it.
different problem though. It's not that they don't watch the news. There's a lot of people that get their news on social media, and they don't
Well,
verify where they're getting the news from.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's probably a whole different conversation. But you're 100% right on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When people found and what's happening now, because I am a news junkie, I do watch all kinds of news. I
Hmm.
try to be well rounded so that when I am coming into contact with people, I don't get caught up in the emotion of it. Because I know the temperature is real high right now
Oh
with
yes.
everything that's going on. But when people are realizing slowly because they weren't really paying attention or they really just weren't believing that we could have gas prices at 15 here
Hmm.
in Illinois.
Or
Five
actually,
fifteen.
it's more than that in the city of Chicago.
Oh, South Side, yeah, yeah, South Side. Oh, yeah, it's in the city. Oh, yeah, it's really high there, and not to mention the gas prices. You mentioned something that was so profound too with the farmers. When we think
Mhm.
about this gas price, the gas price, like the knee bone connected to the leg bone, it's just like people don't even realize the diesel prices for truckers to be able to
Yes.
get the goods and services from one place to another. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I couldn't believe when I saw those diesel prices. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, and when I go to the store, I can't speak for anyone else. $100 doesn't get me very much these days.
No, no, no. Oh, God forbid you guys with small children.
Oh yes. Thank goodness my son is grown and out of the house. But yeah, I definitely hear you on that.
And you
Um,
know, being a former educator in my many things I've done, that when we would have the health and wellness classes, and we would open up dialogue for the high schoolers to talk
mhm.
about what's happening. So it's very interesting to even see what some of our young people who are going to be venturing off into college and places like that. That's going to be affected. Everything is affected. Our food, our medicines. Man, oh my God, it's just it's crazy.
Now let me ask you, Wander, are you going to curb anything that you're doing in your household because of what's going on with the prices and the economy now, or are you going to still do whatever trips or whatever you have planned?
Well, as far as the trips and moving around, I'm very mindful of doing that because I was invited. A friend, she was telling me, you need to come because she's about to go celebrate her birthday. And they're going to Jamaica. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go too far
Mm,
anywhere, even driving. Like I had something planned for Nashville, and I couldn't even go to my girlfriend's funeral, her dad's funeral, because at that time that's when the airports were all gridlocked and everything, and then the
mm,
prices of the tickets. Oh my God! So just with that by itself, so I can find some things around, where I'm living and not too far if I don't have to drive too far because it's crazy. I have a we have a couple of vehicles, right? But that economic vehicle, it took me almost $60. I'm going like what paid what a few months ago, $35 filled my car up.
mm.
$60. I had to fill it. So I started doing like some people do. I'm gonna pay half right now. I'll do a half a tank, because I don't drive too far. I'm in the area, so I don't drive a lot. But oh my God, I couldn't even imagine my job 2 or 3 years ago where I was driving an hour each way.
Yeah. Actually, that $60 to fill up your tank is pretty good because
It is.
my wife did. I have an SUV, so it took $50 for a half a tank. So yeah, that's pretty good.
As they say, it's always somebody worse off than you. And that's a good question that you asked. Am I going to change some things now? As far now, I can stand to drop a few inches, right? So as far as my food intake, that's okay. Man, let me tell you something. I don't do the shopping pretty much. I went and when I saw what they call the family box of Frosted Flakes,
Mm,
the box was shrunk and the side was so thin. This is not a gigantic box. I went to a restaurant when it first started happening, and even the pancakes were even. So people are now even giving you portion size food for more money.
yes, they're catching up with the chips. You ever got a bag of chips and you're like, wow, it's a nice bag, and then you open it up, it's like that much in it.
All that air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gimmick, man. Everything is just going up. So, what I would like to say to anybody that's out there, man, this is a time now for us to really start coming together.
Yes. Yes.
You see, because a lot of services have been cut, like food.
Mhm.
Some of the food programs have been cut. But what I'm glad to see, a lot of organizations are doing food. They're giving away food and everything. So that kind of balances things out, I think.
Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And like I said, there is help out there because times are hard and people are struggling. And to me, don't be bashful. If you need help, say
Yeah.
something because we're all struggling one way or the other. And, you know, sometimes you just need a helping hand, and there's
And I'm
no
glad to see
shame.
the churches. I'm glad to see the churches are stepping up more, especially some of
Yes.
these mega churches, but not just the mega churches, some of the smaller churches are doing it as well. But right now, we're in this together. And as you said earlier, color has nothing to do with gender, class. We have to come together, man, because we are all in this together. When these terrorists, that we as we start talking about these terrorists, man, they're just not right. I just don't agree with them, and a lot of people now are speaking up and speaking out about it. So the protests, you see people protesting everywhere. They're coming. They're not just a certain color of people. They're just people, average middle class people coming together, poor people coming together, trying to make a difference, man. Because we are in this thing together.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well, talk about interesting things. Have
Hmm.
you ever saw the movie? It's called The Rip with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
The Rip, RIP.
Hmm.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
Well, basically, to summarize, actually, it's a great movie. If you ever get a
Okay.
chance, you definitely want to see it.
Okay.
But basically, it's about um, two officers, and they come up on this big bus where it's a lot of cash. So the thing is, one officer starts to really question and not trust the other officer, and thinking that maybe that they're, you know, stealing money, planning to steal money. So I don't want to give too much away since you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
but it's a very good movie. A lot of drama, a lot of suspense, a lot of action to it. Um, but there are two real officers that are suing both Matt Damon and Ben Affleck
Oh yeah.
because of the movie. So in Miami, two South Florida police officers claim Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's recent action thriller, The Rip, used too many real life details in his fictionalized narrative, causing harm to the officers' personal and professional reputations, according to a defamation lawsuit. Jason Smith and Jonathan Santana, sergeants in the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, filed a
Hmm.
lawsuit in Miami federal court earlier this month against Artist Equity, a film production company owned by Affleck and Damon.
Okay.
Court filings don't say how much the officers are suing for, but the civil complaint says that they're seeking compensatory damages, uh, um, punitive damages, and attorney fees, as well as public reaction and correction. I have a lot to say about this here.
Okay. Wow.
Now, to me, this has been going back years.
Okay.
In order to make a good police movie, a good action movie when you're
Right.
using officers and stuff, they've been, hiring either current or former police officers and detectives for decades. This is nothing new.
Right. Right.
So I don't, I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but I can't see how this lawsuit's going to go anywhere. I mean, what's
Yeah.
your thoughts on this, Wonder?
I'm kind of like you. I think some people, when you are famous, or when people kind of know you got a little bit of money or something, you have to be careful because they look for any little thing to try to get some of your coins. So
Mhm.
it just sounds like a bunch of baloney. It just sounds like about. I'm like you. They've used these police officers all the time, real people all the time. So yeah, that sounds like a bunch of yeah. It'd be interesting to see how that goes.
I agree with you. I mean, I guess, and I'm hoping this isn't the angle. Sometimes people, like you say, use situations to try and enrich themselves, to try and put out a lawsuit to put extra money in their pockets.
Yeah,
Because this has been done so long, that precedence is already there that, they've been
exactly.
doing this is nothing new. It's kind of like this thing where everyone knows this.
Yeah,
Now, you may not be able to tell which parts are real and which parts aren't because of the way the movies are put together. But to me, I think it adds a lot of a lot of character and a lot to the story itself by having it being somewhat realistic too, because people could kind of go, oh wow. Now the average person
Yeah.
that's not a criminal, we don't really care. We just want to watch a good movie. Okay.
Right. Right.
I could be wrong, but I doubt very seriously there are criminals going, okay, let's watch this movie here so we can figure out what police tactics are. I don't think that's happening. I could be wrong.
No. No. Oh my God. This puts me in mind of a similar situation where AI is in court. There's
Yes,
a
yes,
guy because this guy, I think what was it that he tried to murder? He did murder somebody or look to murder somebody, whatever.
yes.
But the bottom line is AI is in court. How are you gonna put AI in court when if you use AI, and I know this is a sensitive topic, when you use AI, you, the human being, are putting your thoughts in there. So how are you going to sue AI because this guy decided to use AI in the wrong way? And we don't really have to go deep in that because that could be another topic that we could talk about.
Is
That's
that
similar.
the one where supposedly the guy used AI to figure out how to do the murder? Is that the guy? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Now,
And
to me, the guy's kind of stupid because everything you type on a computer is not private. You know,
no.
even if you delete what's on your computer, you do a
Mhm.
search history, even in Chat GPT, they remember what you put in there. So
Oh, absolutely.
court order can easily figure out what you put in there. So to me, that was kind of stupid. But
Yeah. But it has
but
AI on trial. AI didn't do nothing. It's almost like the devil. People want to blame the devil for everything. The devil made me do it. No, that free will you got made you do that.
yes, yes, that is so so true. I
So
mean, I think this is one of those things where um again, a lot of people don't like AI. A lot of people feel,
yeah,
to me, it depends on how you use AI. Because I do use AI myself,
yeah,
but I use it as a tool. I don't use it to try and
absolutely.
replace people because I don't think AI is at that point yet.
Right.
Um, will it get there? We don't know. It could be because things are moving very fast.
Yeah.
But I just think that the gentleman is not very smart to,
No.
type up how to do something to someone and think that no one's going to figure that out, you know?
Right. Right. And then likewise with the what we started talking about, what happened with being Affleck and the guy trying to sue him. I mean, you just throwing something to see if it'll stick to the wall. you
Yeah,
know, and because they're famous or whatever, you got your few minutes of fame or whatever, or 5 minutes of fame, as they say. So no, I just, yeah, I think that's kind of, it's really unfortunate that they have to, stop what they're doing, their busy schedule to even address something like this. But you have to address it. You
that's
have to
true.
address it, and it's just the world that we're living in. Everybody is looking for a handout. I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many people are looking for a handout, and they want to get it off the backs of other people versus going out there and getting it yourself. We all have the ability. If you're not, even I won't even say if you're handicapped, because there are even people who are disabled that are doing more than people that don't have anything wrong with them. So it's no excuse. If you have your right mind, go out there and get it for yourself. Don't go and try to take it from somebody else.
Now, I,
I think
I have to ask you, Wonder, are
sure.
you surprised someone was kind of stupid enough to ask AI how to, commit a crime?
Oh no, because desperate people do desperate things. No, not at all. It'll be as you said. You would be surprised. This is how people end up going to jail. The police know how to go in and do a forensic
Mhm.
analysis on your electronic devices. So
True.
whatever you think that you're doing, you looking, it's 12 midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you up there, if the right person could go into that computer, they're gonna find out what you're doing. You're not getting away with anything.
Hmm.
Maybe for a little while, but you're not getting away with anything for too long. No,
Oh
not at
yeah,
all.
you'll be amazed what they can find with a warrant. So
Oh yeah. So just be mindful. I know some people. I'm not getting. I got off of Facebook. You got off Facebook, but guess what? Everything you had on Facebook for the time you were on there is still there.
that is so true.
Even like you trying to get rid of your cell phone, switch your phone. I think they're doing something different now because I got another. I have a couple of phones, but the other phone they had us to bring it home this time because you know how long it used to take to get the data off your phone while you're sitting there. So now it's something right now that can just wipe it out. Just wipe everything out, and you got a brand new phone. So even when you have your phone, if you give away a computer, an old computer, or electronics, your stuff is still banking information,
Mhm.
personal information. So you have to make sure all that stuff is not on there. So yeah. So we're in this quick technology time, but you have to also be real careful. And if you don't want it out there, don't put it out. You know, because I tweet a little bit, and I probably shouldn't. But you got to be careful because those tweets they're in yesteryear, but they're still out there. So everything we say and do, you better be big and bad enough to stand behind it. You know, if you think you're being slick and trying to do something hiding, because what's in the dark will come to light
That is true. That is
for,
so
for
true.
sure. So yeah,
Now, I know we talked about AI quite a bit, which actually leads into our next topic here.
okay.
And this is very interesting because I witnessed this myself, but graduates are booing AI.
They are doing what?
They're booing AI.
Like
So, like,
boo, boo.
oh, yes, yes. So, to kind of give you a little bit of perspective, um, a spat of recent university commencement speakers was met with boos rather than the usual cheers when their remarks turned to the topic of AI. The students' vocal displeasure has brought into focus many Gen Zers' opposition to AI and anxiety around the challenging entry level job market. Trying to land an entry level job right now is like throwing darts to begin with, says Sheena Ravener, a 21-year-old senior at
Mhm.
Stanford University and the founder and president of AI policy nonprofit Encode AI. Um, and that's what she told CNBC.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, I experienced this personally in my son's graduation. He just graduated
Okay.
from Berklee College of Music,
Okay.
and they had the commencement speech. There were people that received three people that received their doctorate, honorary doctorate degree. One of them was Jill Scott. So it was one of the other speakers, and they spoke briefly about AI, and the whole graduating crowd just went boo, boo, just real loud. And it's actually going on around the country because a lot of youngsters don't really like AI because they feel that they're taking jobs away. So, what do you think about that, Wonder?
First of all, the Bible says, "In all thy getting, get an understanding." And we're going to probably have opposing views about lots of things, AI being one of them, religion, politics. I shared a similar explanation to someone. They had an issue with AI, people using AI and all this. I said, I'll tell you this much. I've never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but at my age, where I am, if there is a tool that's been created to help me get to a place faster than me sitting back, trying to get it on my own, taking hours because you get the brain fog and your brain freezes. But if I can find something that's going to help me with my own thoughts, because I got thoughts, I got plenty of thoughts. And if I have something that's going to help me to guide that and make sense of it, I don't have a problem with it. I told the same person, if you don't want to deal with technology, give me your car keys and you go find Charlie the horse and you ride a horse and buggy because technology is going to move whether you agree with it or not. Christopher Columbus thought the world was flat. Just because he thought the world was flat doesn't mean it's not so. There's good and bad in everything. It is unfortunate that some bad people have taken AI, chat, and all this and try to say it's the devil. Remember when the computer first came out back in the 80s, the late 80s? www, the World Wide Web, that's 666. That's the devil. So people are going to have their ideas about certain things. Technology is going to move whether we want it or not. Ask our grandmothers. Ask some of the elderly people when they were doing. Remember, even when you think about churches, you think about people are even in the churches, and I don't want to get too deep. I said I don't want to get too deep, but even in the churches, you have people that are going to the churches. I hope you don't hear my wild uh, uh, puppies going crazy. Um, my thing is, it's going to be a debate, and I love a good debate
Mhm.
because I happen to be watching 1883. I love all of the Yellowstones,
Mhm.
and during the time this conversation of AI came out, I was watching, and they were coming from the 1800s into the 1923. I think I went to that one to the 1923. Well, in 1923, the Duttons were heading to town to have a meeting with the mayor or whoever they were having a meeting with, and he asked the man, the police officer, who were what happened to all of the what you call them, the thing they tie the horses up to, the little stands.
Mhm.
He said, "Oh, well, we have to move those out for the automobiles." And an epiphany hit me. I'm like, here it is. I was just having this conversation in 2026 with someone, and I was giving an analogy, and here it is, watching this movie, and it showed how they were transitioning from horses to cars. And then they were in there shopping, and the guy said, "Well, you need to buy one of these machines here. Buy one of these machines over here." And it was a washing machine. They said, "Oh, that's the devil. How long that's going to last? That's not going to last too long." The guy was selling the first automatic washing machines. And they were talking about that. So we have to look at evolution. We are constantly growing. And unfortunately, if you got somebody that's taking the good thing and making it bad, that doesn't make the entity itself bad. It's the individual, like that guy, want to know how to murder somebody, took AI, and now they got AI on trial versus the man, the human being that put
Mhm.
the information in there. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the only thing I agree with most of what you say, but I think AI is a different monster. And what I mean by that is that it both could be right and both could be wrong. Where AI is a great tool, and AI
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of things easier, and it helps out business, especially small businesses and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But AI also has that dark side to it, and the controversial side is using it to replace actors, using it to replace actual musicians and actual singers. Um, now you're looking at a whole different type of thing because I remember on a few episodes earlier on Thirsty Topics, we talked about some artists, which actually weren't real artists; they were actually AI artists that
Yeah, because
hit the Billboard 100s. Okay, and it was kind of scary because they did sound good. I have to admit it. They really,
yeah,
really
they
did sound
do.
good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I don't really see it as real talent because you're just basically telling a computer what to do. That's just me. And then also too, when you're looking at AI in the movies. Now, let's say for whatever reason an actor can't complete the movie. You know, God forbid they lose their life, they get sick,
They get
whatever,
sick. Yeah.
and you've already started making the movie, so you don't want to lose tens of millions of dollars trying to re
Cast somebody.
bring someone
Recast.
in
Yeah.
and recast it, reshoot and everything because that stuff is very expensive. That makes sense. I could see that. But the one thing I think where you start getting into that that gray area is okay, just because someone does a movie with you doesn't automatically mean you have the right to use their image in something else they never even auditioned for.
Oh, for sure. Now that's again. Oh yes, and that's why even on Facebook, and I'm guilty. You know all the other things. You get the pictures, and they put your face on these different pictures and images. I think that that's kind of scary, and I'm guilty of that myself. But I don't use my face recognition for my passwords Because I'm thinking if you put your face in there, that's the danger of that. So yeah, I see the danger in there. And again, it goes. I tell you another one. I love red. I love blue.
Mhm.
Don't you know there are gang members that represent red? There are gang members that represent blue. So you mean to tell me that I'm not going to wear blue because gang members chose to have that as part of their um, organization? So even when McDonald's is not scared of Wendy's,
True.
KFC is not scared of Popeyes.
Hmm.
So it's really about being smart how you use it. Again, goes back to the good and the bad that's in it. Because there have been projects, getting back to the stars, where either the person have gotten sick or you see that wasn't Rachel. Oh, that wasn't Dan. They got a whole different person in there. Now the I think would be a great addition if a movie was not done. So again, it's really about what your motive is behind it.
True.
Now I was just watching the news today, and one of those AI cars, automatic cars, drove into a puddle of water up under a viaduct. I'm like, well, nobody was in the car. I was like, oh. So there is one of those things for the people that's against it. Right there, they just gave them something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. So that gives them something to talk about. That car was under all that water, but a human being. I know of human beings. Oh, I can get through that, and they'll drive through a puddle of water, and they're stuck. So it wasn't. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily it was an AI car, because human beings have done the same thing. They say do not drive your car because you don't know how deep that water is, right?
But I believe that an AI rideshare person won't do that with a passenger in the car.
Say that one more time.
An actual driver, like let's say for Uber or Lyft, they won't do that with a passenger in the car. Where and that to me, that's where the person comes into.
I believe in technology, but I'm not getting in no vehicle and ain't no human being driving, the visible man driving. No way. Because you're trapped. You're under the mercy of somebody that don't even they don't even have a driver's license, or they have a driver's license and still can't drive. As I said, where you get that driver's license from? The Cracker Jack box. So we have to be careful even with people driving cars, human beings. So it's one of them things, is the glass half empty? Is it half full? What's your perspective on it? So I think it's a intelligent dialogue. Let's talk about it because it's not going anywhere. You
No,
remember
it's
the
not.
Jetsons?
Mm-hmm.
The Jetsons way back in the 80s,
Yeah,
70s, 80s. So the Jetsons were flying around in cars. They had the TVs. They had all that stuff way before now. you
that's
know
true.
so so very good topic. And again, and for me, I can get stuff done much quicker. It's still my ideas. And let me know if I'm going to when we go slow
No,
down or
no, you're
whatever.
fine.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, you're fine.
Oh yeah, so we just have to be able to understand that. And for me, if you like chocolate cake and I like lemon cake, don't tell me I'm wrong for liking lemon cake. And it's okay to talk about the pros and the cons. And like I said, Wendy's is not scared of McDonald's.
That
Yeah.
is true. That is true.
Mhm.
Well, our last topic
Okay.
is actually a topic that probably is going to be a little sensitive to some people right now, based on
Okay.
some of the other topics we talked about today.
Okay.
But ex-Spirit employees have filed a lawsuit over layoffs and pay.
Okay.
Now, in case someone just did not know what's going on, and maybe they're off on a sabbatical, and they just didn't hear what happened, but Spirit Airlines no longer exists.
Yeah.
Spirit Airlines shut down.
Hmm.
In fact, the employees did not get any heads up about this. They found out when the rest of the world found out, and they were people that were literally stranded, where they went to the counter to find out what was going on, and
Yeah.
there was no one there. In fact, they had to hire people, repossession companies to fly the planes back to their origin as far as putting them someplace because they're literally out of business. You call customer service, there is
Wow.
no customer service. So, from what Spirit Airlines said, Spirit Airlines basically said that because of the rising fuel costs, they were already struggling financially. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and they did not have money to continue on. So, a group
Whoa.
of Spirit Airlines employees have filed a class action lawsuit claiming the airline violated the WARN Act by
Mm-hmm.
failing to provide required notice before suddenly shutting down. NBC News has reported on this, and they say that six ex employees seek compensation for unpaid wages, benefits, and the continuation of their medical coverage. Given that some of the 17,000 affected workers say that they have not received final paychecks, the lawsuit could expand, particularly since the company lobbied for a $10.7 million
Wow.
in retention bonuses for senior executives in bankruptcy court in Spirit's final days. So there's a lot in that.
It's a lot.
Well, Wander, I know that's a lot that I just said. What do you think about that?
Well, again, it just goes back. It's more than just about the airline, it's about people's livelihood. We're talking about uh, mothers, we're talking about our children, we're talking about people. Oh my God. I couldn't even think about it. I couldn't even, and you asked earlier, so this goes back to what you said earlier about my plans. How in the world can you explain this to people who are stranded, bought tickets, the employees finding out just like we I would be not happy right now. I wouldn't be a happy camper to know that these big entities, because I guarantee you that the executive, and they knew about this before it happened. That's totally unfair. I would not be happy right about now. So what is the consequences? I mean, what are the consequences?
That's a great question. And I know that there are
Wow.
laws in the books on the federal side and on the state side. Of course, it varies from state to state. And then as far as the federal law, how that works, I'm not really 100% sure. I may do some research into that. But most of the time, a big corporation, a big company has to
Mhm.
give some type of notice. You just can't have an employee show
Absolutely.
up to work and like doors are locked, there's nobody in there. No, that's not, or
Something's
worst
fishy.
case scenario, you on your vacation and you're like, and it's a connecting flight. And you're like, okay, let me go check it out because you're on vacation, you're not watching the news. And
No.
you're like, my flight's been
Well, I
canceled.
do.
And you go to the area where Spirit Airlines is, and it's a ghost town. And there were people that had to pay anywhere from hundreds to $1,000 more just to get to their destination because we all know how expensive it is when you buy an airline ticket
On the
last
spot.
minute. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's very, very expensive. So I don't know, and because they were in bankruptcy court, I don't know if they'll be able to get anything out of this. I hope so because I agree with you. I think this was so wrong. But the other thing that bothers me, and I didn't realize it until I was reading the information.
Uh-huh.
How is it that you pay bonuses to the executives, but you say you're broke and you're going out of business? And again, it could be me. Maybe I don't know something here, but it's kind of weird to me.
Let me give you, and I know I think we shared this with you at lunch. There is it's on Prime, a movie on it's a series on Prime, 7 seasons too, called Billions. And they talk of and this and I'll send you the link to it. This series really hit on corporations and the what do you call it, stock markets and all of the inside trading and the the stuff that they keep from the little people. It is amazing. And I cannot, and I think we're on season 2 now. So this was like years before. I mean, like for what's going on right now, but it's playing into today's society, what's going on in the world today. And it is a shame that you have millionaires, people who are successful, and they take it out on us,
Hmm.
the little people. It's not fair. And they're giving money now in another instance rather, uh, for people who definitely don't deserve to get this money. You got people who have been working hard, not just with Spirit, but we're talking about Spirit right now, but just in so many other areas like Spirit, the people who are hurting, what happened. I think it's a sin and it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, and I hope I'm wrong, but I just have a feeling that there's going to be more companies that are
Yeah.
probably going to succumb to what's going on. I mean, we've seen it unfortunately with a lot of farmers. A lot of farmers have filed bankruptcy, went out of business because of everything.
Yeah.
And at some point, something's got to change because we can't keep going down this rabbit hole over and over.
The thing that has to change, and I'm seeing it more, is people coming together. Man,
True.
together we stand, divided we fall.
Hmm.
So again, the color doesn't matter, how much money you have, because even some of the people that's got the money, their money is going to dwindle with the way things are going if we don't all come together.
That is
So
true.
this is a time, man. If we ever needed each other, man, I need you, you need me. We are all a part of the God's body, man. And this is what we got to come together against the wiles of the enemy who's trying to keep us suppressed, man. It's about us really, really coming together and being our brothers and sisters keepers.
That is
Seriously.
so true. That is so, so true.
Yeah.
I just hope that those employees that were laid off, I just hope that they find their way and
Right.
they're not harmed too much by what happened. Because again, this is not a great job market right now because of everything going on.
Because I hate to say it, man. Ooh, I hate to say it. The crime and the desperation of the people, they're going to be crying out so bad real soon. And we have to be real careful that people don't get so desperate that we can't even come up out of our house. And I think that's kind of what is the way some people kind of wanted to go, that the people to fold, and even through the injustice of the ICE agents and stuff like that, all the people came together. You don't even hear about that anymore. You barely hear about it
Hmm.
because people came together. So people are going to have to really come together, man, and really be informed. If you're not informed, man, you are going to perish.
That is so true.
God, yeah. So,
Well, I tell you, it's amazing, but we're almost up for an hour here.
oh
Um,
wow, okay.
Time is really, really flew, and I'm going to enjoy our conversations. I'm looking forward to this every week with you.
Oh yes, and thank you so much for because this is my element. I host the rock show. I've been doing that since 1998. So I've always been. I had a heart for the community and a heart for the people, and I want people in the community to know people like you, people like Laura, people like, so we have a real nice a community that we're building, man. Everybody is standing tall by themselves, but together we're coming together, man. I see the future. I see a great future when we first met. And the people that we're connecting with, man, God is good. And no matter how bad things look, because remember how it was during COVID.
Oh, yes.
Everybody thought the world had just ended. We didn't know what to expect. And now that we're coming together with the technology, even us sitting here right now, we'll be in the studio sometimes, but I'm enjoying how we're just having the dialogue right now. I'm just
Absolutely.
enjoying it. So thank you for this opportunity, my friend.
Anytime. Now, before we get out of here, um, you started a little bit, but tell people about the other projects you're working on.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm working on my program, Rock Restore Our Communities, and I'm also working as an umbrella under Rock, a podcast for youth called Hear Our Voices. Because young people, man, they have value. And as a former educator in the Nashville school system for more than 20 years, I understand that young people, they have things they can share with us too. We can't just push them in the corner. Remember back in the day that your parents say children should be seen and not heard. No, kids, young people, they have some value. They have valuable points. So that's why I'm working on that as well. And then with my daughter, I'm working on RMC, renal medullary carcinoma. I did a documentary. I wrote a book. My grandson wrote a book about his mom and about his journey with her dealing with sickle cell trait. Because in the African American community, there are so many people that don't realize that having sickle cell trait, you can end up with a very rare kidney cancer called RMC, renal medullary carcinoma. So that's what I'm working on. Those are a few things that I'm working on right now. Yeah.
That's great. Those are some great things that you're working on.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you again for watching us, for listening to us. Please share, tell everyone who we are, and also tell people to kind of tune in and watch us and listen to us. You can catch us on all the major podcast networks. Also, you can come see us personally at lrodtvnetwork.com, where you can see this. And there's also several other shows. And then also, Silver Lining, which is a documentary that my friend Wanda has put together, is also on the channel as well. Well, everyone, have a great day. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Wanda P.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.